And now, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda commences tonight's satsang with a Sanskrit peace chant.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We begin with mystic song by Sri Swami Lalitananda, played and sung by Sri Swami Umananda and Rajneesh.
Our song tonight is called All Is Full. In the early morning, I hear the temple bells playing across the Ganges river, and the clouds of music from my weena drift like white waves over the moving water. When the bells ring, the spirit of wind sings. All is full, from full comes full, take full from full, what is left is full. All this is divine sound, take the world away. What is left is Brahman. All this is the divine self. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda in Miami, Florida. Today is November the 6th, 2020, Friday evening, and tonight Swamiji will be lecturing on the Tulsi Ramayana. This is Series 2016, class number 227. And now Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Neelambujasyamalakomalangam Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam Panavu Maha Sayakacharu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. It was a Sanskrit Lord Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus. It's very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side. and he is carrying a powerful bow and arrow in his hands. Sri Ramcharitmanas in Ayodhya Kand, and we are dealing with verse number 273. The context in this story, that Bharata with important citizens of Ayodhya have come, the whole party, to persuade Rama to go back to Ayodhya and be the king. So they have also brought everything needed for Rama's coronation. And as the storyline continues, from profounder point of view, the philosophy aspect, you are being given insight into the goal to achieve through your sadhana. Sadhana is soul's movement towards enlightenment, liberation. So in order to attain liberation, there must be integral development. That is to say, karma, bhakti, dhyana and jnana. Your actions should be in tune with cosmic will of God. Your emotions must be centered on God Himself. And your dhyana, focusing of the mind, led by sankalpa, willpower. That focus has to be the goal, liberation, Rama, Brahman. And the intellect aspect in human being, the instrument of understanding. That instrument should not be a dull-wit instrument. It should become intuitional instrument. That movement is called jnana. So karma, bhakti, dhyana and jnana all climax into Ram darshan. Climax into allowing Rama to be the ruler. And you become an instrument in his hands. That's subtle philosophy behind it. With that in view, let's enjoy the story. The story brings its own delicate rasa. Guru Samaj Bhain Sahit Ram Rajpur ho Achat Ram Raja Avad Mariya Mag Sabako. All people, this is their cherished desire, cherished wish. And what's that? Rama, along with his brothers, along with Guru and all Ayodhya citizens, may Rama be the ruler. And may we live our full life in Ayodhya and die in Ayodhya. This is their cherished wish. It's allegorical presentation of may I attain liberation. It's simple. In order to attain liberation, you have to have the Rama Rajya set in your personality. Wisdom, Rama rules. The brothers Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna, they are the different yogas. They all should be together. In other words, while we live, may there be, the whole personality must be under the guidance, under the umbrella of Rama Rajya. Rama, the ruler, absolute ruler. And dying, never to come back into the world of birth and death. You lived in Ayodhya. Ayodhya is Yuddha, that is not needed. Yuddha is battling. And there is no more battle. Battling again implies living to promote integration. That's real battle. Otherwise, it's just vain jumping around. Every jump and shout is not real battle. I'm joking. And another meaning of Ayodhya is that you have no enemy to fight with. Your heart does not have room for anger, hate, greed, fear. When that room is not there, it is Ayodhya. Ayodhya is your very heart, having nothing negative to fight with. Continuing now with the storyline, Suni saneha maya purujan bani, nindahi yoga virati muni jnani. These are the citizens of Ayodhya. And when they express their wishes and sages, saints who lived in that Chitrakoot, they are encountering the citizens of Ayodhya who are in profound love with Rama. And their eyes open up. And they begin to look at themselves. What sadhana have they done? They don't have that love which the Ayodhya Vasis, people of Ayodhya, are expressing. How great they are. Simple way to understand. In the name of spiritual sadhana, people practice very difficult forms of austerity, meditation, or they observe vratas. Very difficult. The difficulty is always brought out as a highlight. And that's what you expect from going into a forest. You expect to meet people who have been sitting in meditation for a long time. And when you hear someone has been hibernating like a bear, I'm joking. But what I'm leading you to understand, that picture of spiritual progress has limitation. It has a kindergarten type of attitude. The real movement is integral movement, and it doesn't have to express outside of you as something difficult you are doing. If you are really spiritual, you will be having a relaxed personality. You will be a source of inspiration for others. You will not be holding a personality with a stiff stick, hitting on people. Oh, you have this path, this sin with you. You have this defect in you. You have only your good karmas are limited only for 2 more lives, and so forth. I'm giving you a very humorous way. But what spiritual progress means, that you are performing all your duties wherever God has placed you, doing all your duties in the spirit of aradhana. Nothing that you do which is not a part of puja. It's not easy to suddenly come to that level, but that's a progressive effort has to be directed. And therefore, soon you will see King Janaka will be arriving. Janaka represents that state. He is not only he is enlightened, he is the Videha Mukta. He doesn't view himself as body. And at the same time, you don't see him practicing anything of ascetic nature. He is a royalty, yes. So that way Scripture presents to you the understanding that the goal doesn't mean that you have to appear. Appearance is dependent on your karmic process. But no matter what you are in appearance, you can be very rich and prosperous. You can be simple farmer or similar. And you have the ability to be the highest. You can be enlightened. If you are enlightened, you cannot be compared with anything in the world. You are Brahman. So therefore, that's what the sages and saints of that Chitrakoot look at Ayodhya Vasis who are melting in love for Rama. And their wish is to attain Videha Mukti even during lifetime. When they hear that, and storyline, when they hear the love they express for Rama, they look at themselves. Nindahi Jog Virati Muni Jnani. And they say to themselves, they begin to scold themselves. What have you done so far? Look at these people, so simple. And they have such love. And where are we? I'm talking on their behalf. We are all struggling. In the name of spirituality, a lot of struggle. Where are we? In other words, they are all inspired by those people who are showing love for Ram. यही विधि नित्य कर्म करी पुरुजन राम ही करहि प्रणाम पुलकितन. Thus every day Ayodhyavasi, people from Ayodhya, do their daily puja, worship, and offer their pranams to Sri Rama. ऊंच नीच मध्यम नर नारी लहाही दरसु निज निज अनुहारी. Now the people from Ayodhya, they are in different levels. Unch, those who are highly advanced. Neech, those who are just mild. Madhyam, those who are moderate. They are all adorable devotees of Rama. But all of them are not in the same degree of devotion. So one must understand that in sadhana movement, there are different stages. You can be the early stage, called a mild stage. You can be moderate, not so mild and not so very sharp. Or you can be uttam, the best state. All types of people mingle together, and that's what Ayodhya Vasis represent. And therefore, darshan of Rama has different meaning in different people. The mild ones, how do they expect Rama's darshan to occur? Moderate one, their expectation of Rama's darshan. Advanced one, their expectation. And lahahi darashu nij nij anuhari. And they all are fulfilled according to their expectation. In another place in the Ramayana, people are having darshan, jaki rahi bhavana jaisi. As is your bhavana, accordingly is your darshan. So in other words, if you, in your sadhana, you become very inspired and have a feeling that Rama gave darshan, you may have a vision. Understand, it is an experience inspiring you to go further, not an experience that make you now feel, oh, I have darshan now, nothing more left. Because the concept of darshan advances. First concept of darshan is in the terms of vision and dream. You are doing sadhana, doing meditation, suddenly you slip into a kind of ecstasy. And a dream-like experience occurs, which is very inspiring. But that is the type of inspiring vision. Having inspired you, You may go on further, or you may hold on to that vision, write in your diary, ask some artists to paint out your vision, talk about it. All that I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's perfectly good. But your mind is so gripped by only that stage, and that is not the ideal. As I have explained before, darshan means in advanced way a revelation. Revelation, I am the divine. Upasana becomes ahamgraha upasana. What does it mean? Upasana means you are meditating on God. God as Hanuman, God as Rama, God as Buddha. And you view yourself growing in the image of God. In the early stage, God is different and you are different. As you advance, you are a ray of God. And therefore, your darshan of God means becoming closer and closer. You grow in His image. In practice, ahamgraha upasana means a special way of meditating. You begin with your Ishta Devata is Rama. Now develop I am Rama. And try to melt into that vision. In a disciplinary way, gurus guide these students by giving them the idea, whatever you meditate upon, don't view yourself different from that. There is a episode or a story that in an ashram, a disciple began to practice ahamgraha upasana. He entered into a cave that has a very small gate, and when he practiced upasana, his mind went after, he is a farmer, his mind went after his buffalo. And he has heard that wherever you are, wherever the mind goes, hold that person or object and exercise your meditative technique. I am that object. You can meditate upon a tree, I am the tree. You meditate upon a river, I am the river. That type of meditation, ahamgraha. So since he was meditating, I am buffalo, after meditation he couldn't come out. He became successful. So much so, making the story short, the guru and other disciples, they came looking for him and they shouted out, "You disciple, come out." But he said, "How can I come out?" So why? My body is big. Buffalo. Gurus realized the practice he was doing, ahamgra. So the Guru told him, now switch your attention. You are your normal personality. And in brief, he was able to come out and understand the role of ahamgraha upasana. And the ideal of ahamgraha upasana is whoever you are meditating upon, your goal is to be united with that, identified with that. Meditate on Shiva, be united with Shiva. United means what? You become Shiva. So you are growing in the image of God. That's the main highlight behind it. And that's the highest type of highest darshan. लड़िकाई ही ते रघुबर बानी, पारत नीति प्रीति पहचानी, शील सकोच सिंधु रघुरायु, सुमख सुलोचन सरल सुभाऊ. Sri Rama, from his very childhood, has presented the ideal of Maryada Purushottam, the ideal of that divine being who lives an exemplary life of righteousness. The type of righteousness he lived by is exemplary. How does he wake up? How does he worship his parents? How does he deal with friends? In every detail. That's called Maryada. And Rama's role was to highlight the Maryada aspect of your conduct. And that's very profound for the real cultural improvement of society. शील सकोच सिंधु रघुराऊ, सुमुख सुलोचन सरल सुभाऊ. Rama is the abode, is the ocean of good manners, of modesty and righteousness. Sumukh, he is with really beautiful face. Sumukh or Durmukh. What is your face? Not the physical face is not just your physical face, but if your personality is developing divine qualities, virtuous qualities, they bring a different face in your personality. And if negative qualities develop, your face becomes Durmukh, is presented in the stories as a demon, bad, ugly looking face. But from broad point of view, no matter how wonderful one may look, but if the mind is the person is filled with violence, haughtiness, egoistic pride, then such a person has a durmukh. But a person, no matter what his looks may be, his or her, if one is developing virtuous qualities and progressing on the path of integration, then you are sumukh. And when you face your challenges with good face, the challenges turn into magical. They become blessings. With good face, things become blessings. Bad face, the blessings are effaced. So Rama is at Sumukh, Sulochan. And so, another aspect, Sulochan, good vision, having good eyes. Again, literally meaning beautiful eyes. Rama, that's what they tell the devotees, how does he look? Beautiful. Shining sun, moon. All that I'm saying is perfectly commendable. But what I'm implying, that don't keep your mind confined to physical look. Physical look that you are presenting to your mind is, the intention is for you to go into deeper waters of devotion and understand the real face of God by practicing virtuous qualities and see how your face changes. And you are to grow in the image of Rama, the image of God. So you must be sumukh, good face. How is the vision of Rama? For Rama, all is I am. And another aspect, Rama's vision is for showering grace over all. So that type of vision is Sulochan, good vision. How do you look? It depends upon how do you hold goodwill for others in your heart. Saral Subhav. Saral, Sanskrit word is Arjava, means thought, word and deed. All these must flow in harmony. Not thought going this way, deed going that way. Words operating another way. Then you are not simple. Saral means simple, straight. कहत राम गुण गण अनुरागे, सब निज भाग सराहन लागे. And all those people, they are constantly talking about the glorious virtues of Rama. And they are steeped in divine love. And they are thanking their bhagya, their destiny, that they are able to have darshan of Rama. And they understand that the type of virtue, the type of virtuous karma they have been able to perform. It is so great. And what is the type of virtuous karma? To view themselves related to Rama. Rama loves them. They love Rama. And that is the highest treasure, beyond measure. प्रेम मगन तेहि समय सब सुनि आवत मिथिलेषु सहित सभा संभ्रम उठेउ रविकुल कमल दिनेषु. So all these people were as if diving in the ocean of love, in ecstasy as it were. And at this, a news breaks that King Janaka, along with chosen select people of Janakpur, they have arrived. Sri Rama, who is like the sun for solar rays, Suryakul. What does that mean? Solar rays means souls following the path of Uttarayana. All souls essentially are Brahman. But when you develop aspiration for following the path that leads to para-bhakti, supreme devotion and liberation, then you belong to solar race. Or you belong to Yadu race, which is lunar race. Because in the same solar movement, it starts with the sun, we start with fire, then you start with moon. So whether you call it sun or moon, you are being directed to the same goal. In this context, so Sri Rama, who is like the sun for enabling all those souls of solar race to blossom like lotus. That Sri Rama stood up to welcome King Janaka and his party. भाई सचिव गुर पुरजन साथा आगे कवनु कीन रघुनाथा. Sri Rama, along with his brothers, minister, guru, and citizens of Ayodhya, Sri Rama went to welcome King Janaka. गिरिवरु दीख जनकपति जबहि करि प्रणाम रथ त्यागे उतबहि. And King Janaka, the moment he saw that abode of Rama, he got down from his chariot and continue to walk towards Rama on foot. Ram daras lalasa uchahu, pathashamaleshu kaleshu nakahu. King Janaka and all the people, they have gone through a lot of exertion in coming to that place. But all that exertion doesn't mean anything now when they see Rama. They are filled with joy. मन तह जहाँ जगुबर भय देही बिनु मन तन दुख सुख सुधि के ही. Their mind is with Rama and Sita. And wherever the mind is, there is your experience of pleasure and pain. The body is not the one that confines your pleasure and pain. आवत जनक चले ही भांति सहित समाज प्रेम मति बाती. King Janaka continued to come closer to Rama along with his party and their intellect is being so dominated by love, intoxicated by love. आए निकट देखी अनुरागे सादर मिलन परस्पर लागे. And coming closer, the meeting began in the most atmosphere of profound love. People began to meet each other. लगे जनक मुनि जन पद बंधन ऋषिन प्रणाम कीन्ह रघुनंदन. King Janaka offered adorations to Sage Vasishtha and the other people of Ayodhya. Sri Rama in turn met Shatananda, the guru of Janakpur, and other rishis. And finally, Rama along with his brothers met King Janaka. And all his society. Ashram sagar santaras puran pavan pathu sen manahu karuna sarit liye jahi raghunathu. The highly poetic description is being given by Tulsidas ji. Rama's ashram is like the ocean of Shanta Rasa, Shant, calm, peace. King Janaka's assembly, whole group of Janak Samaj, is like a river of Karuna Ras, sentiment of compassion. the river is flowing towards the ocean of peace. So all they are doing is meeting Rama. But behind that, the picture of the feeling. बोरति ज्ञान विराग करारे बचन सशोक मिलत नद नारे सोच उषास समीर तरंगा धीरज तटतरु वर बर भंगा. This river of compassion has become swollen up and is breaking down the boundaries of jnana and vairagya. This again is allegorical. When the compassion starts in your heart, you are in a higher level of spiritual evolution. The boundaries that you had created of jnana created a kind of a mathematical precision. This much Upanishad I will read, this much inquiry I will do. That's the boundary of jnana. And similarly, vairagya. All these boundaries are broken. Bachan Sashok. And their words, literal meaning, the words are expression of grief. But here grief relates to vira, relates to aspiration for God realization. The real aspiration, which is not negative, which is highly positive. So, the river of karuna, compassion, swollen up as it were, is coming to join with the ocean of Shanti Ras, of the sentiment of peace, ocean of peace. And the and the waves in this river as it flows, what are they? They are expressions of longing. And with this I am going to conclude. Om Ram 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 Ram. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. Prayer for shower of Karunamaya Ras grace over all of you. The blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukambandhanan Mrityormukshyamamritat. Sarve bhavantu sukhina Sarve santu niramaya Sarve bhadrani pashyantu Ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Are there any questions tonight for Swamiji? Okay, then we conclude, and tomorrow night at 7:30, Swamiji will guide meditation.
Om Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai.